And the best part is it has a snowblower attachment. So I received it at the end of the winter last year, and I got to use it for 2 weeks. It was incredible.
You're
and
kidding.
So I'm looking forward to a full winter of hopefully not having to
So a
plow at all.
smart snowblower.
Yeah, well, it's an
That you
all-in-one
could just
unit. It's a modular unit.
Look
so
out
you
your
can change
window
it.
and watch it
Yeah,
as it shovels your
it's
sidewalk.
incredible. I see my neighbors out
I could
there
see
just
that going
like
wrong,
struggling.
very wrong.
Yeah.
Brandon Doyle, thank you for coming back on the show. It's been 3 years?
3 years.
3.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we need to introduce you or tell your story. Everybody knows you.
No, let's just dive into it.
I know. Let's dive in. I wanted to bring you back because I can see the statistics on the Results Driven podcast, and overwhelmingly, our listeners want to hear more about artificial intelligence and technology and CRM systems and all the things that you were just a whiz at. So let's dive right in. What's your latest pastime? What are you obsessed with right now and all those things? What are you working on?
Well, so I'm working on a really big new construction guide. So during the Parade of Homes, I went to almost all of them. I think I got to 297, which I wouldn't recommend.
Wow.
But yeah, so the idea is that I was, creating some content, building some relationships as I went, and doing a lot of market research. But I'm compiling that data both on our website in the form of community pages, which attract relocation buyers,
Yep.
as well as videos. And so
Okay.
I do a weekly home tour every Friday.
Okay.
That's been a big passion of mine. I've been doing it for about a year and a half, and really starting to gain traction where people are calling and saying, hey, I want you to help me build a home.
Cool. And this is, you said, a directory of like developments, builders, or all of the above?
Yeah, all of the
Okay.
above. And so through our website, you're able to create the community pages. And we touched on it a little bit in the previous podcast.
Yep.
But what I'll do is I'll take a picture of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get some information like who the builders are, what the style of housing is. And then I'll pair that with the map, which includes the polygon. And so with those coordinates, we can actually use our website to only display listings that are in that neighborhood.
Yep.
And so we can also add in a video. So it's me on site, walking through, showing that I know the product and I
Yeah.
have a good relationship with those builders. And so it ranks really well for search. And so if we were to look for, any given neighborhood in the Twin Cities metro here, I kind of started in the Northwest, but I've been kind of working my way around.
Yeah.
If you do a Google search, I often rank ahead of the builders themselves. And so
Yes.
I also get the second ranking because the YouTube is the number 2 search, and people are finding me organically that way.
Yep.
And those type of calls, they're just ready to go. And so the close time frame is usually much quicker. They may have already looked at the builder, but they're curious about a different community, and so I can guide them through.
And the tool that you were touching on when you're talking about the main image and the polygon map, and this is all through the Tribus
Yep,
system.
so it's a great platform.
I don't know anyone that has really taken the Tribus WordPress sites and community pages to the level that you have. Has
I have
anyone?
250 currently, so I think I still have the record.
I think you have more than what we have on the company website.
I know that for a fact, actually.
And we're talking about the Remax results. And these are tools that Remax results agents have access to. Do you ever have fellow results agents reach out to you for support on that? Or-
Yeah, so within the mastermind group, I'm
Yeah.
very open, and I've shared exactly step by step how to do it. I've done a couple of classes around town, and people have seemed pretty interested in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're going to go for new construction, it may have a little bit of leg up on you, but I think there's
Sure.
a big opportunity in different parts of the cities, or obviously we're in the entire state in western Wisconsin, or
Yeah.
the lakeshore experts, or even condos, or the inner cities. Like, I don't really touch on that, so I think there's
Different
a
neighborhoods.
huge
and-
area to showcase your expertise. And
Yeah.
one thing I see that some agents out there with other companies are doing, and is ineffective, is they're using ChatGPT to come up with these scripts, whether it's for their YouTube video or for their website. And you can read it and you can just tell right away that they're not actually the expert because there's inaccuracies. And so, if you're going to do that, I think you're doing more damage than good. But
Really
if you
do the
truly are
research
the
and-
expert, like
yeah.
you live here, you serve that community, you're going to have insights that AI doesn't have. And so that's how you're going to really set yourself apart.
You're talking about people don't take the easy route.
Yeah, in general. So we talked about AI. Obviously, ChatGPT is the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
But it's, garbage in, garbage out. And so if I go in there and I say, create me a community page for Maple Grove, it's
Yeah.
just going to spit out the same nonsense that somebody else is going to have. And now we're no different. But if I go in there and I say, hey, I'm creating a story about Maple Grove, here are some things that I've noticed. Here are my experiences. Help me use it as like a coworker.
Yeah.
And so we're going back and forth and kind of massaging the messaging. And then maybe it's doing a little bit of research, but I'm verifying that. And so obviously school districts are really important. I saw a gentleman recently launched a video and he said it the wrong school district. I was like, well, there went all of your credibility, not knowing that we were sitting in, he's literally filming in a neighborhood and saying he's somewhere else.
Whoops.
And saying that it was
Yeah.
Wayzata schools, but in fact he was in Rockford schools at the time.
Whoops.
So just even knowing that is huge. And I even think to go so far as, where do you go for lunch? What is it like living here? In our videos, we talk about distance to Target and stuff. So thinking about it from a consumer's perspective, if you are not from this area, what is it you're looking for? And you can kind of create content around that.
So you've been big on this, all these community pages, all this time, building 250 plus, really winning at SEO, search engine optimization. But what do you think of now, the whole buzzword AEO? And talk a little bit to listeners. They don't know what AEO means, what it stands for. And SEO versus AEO, you're seeing a lot of real estate coaches out there talking about that. Do you want to just touch on that? What is AEO? And are you personally going to be focusing more on that? Are you going to shift anything? And
Great question.
Okay.
So at a high level, instead of using Google and then getting the different results as we're typically used to, and you want to be above the fold, which
Yep.
would be page 1 because nobody goes to page 2, 3, or 4, etc.
Yep.
So you want to be towards the top. Same is true with AI. You want to be the recommended person. You want to be the source of truth. And so to do that, you must create a lot of content around that idea. And so the thing that the coaches are talking about is being who they
Yeah.
recommend.
Yep.
I
Being
think
the
that
source.
is going to be very challenging because you're competing with the likes of giants that have millions of dollars. And so ChatGPT is now,
Right.
OpenAI is partnered with Zillow. And so they're going to source Zillow for that information.
Right.
My other concern here is that AI is not very good about citing its sources or giving attribution in general. And so if I ask information, it might just spit out the answer, but not get them on my site, get them to know me more as an agent. And so I'm actually leaning the other way. I want to
Okay.
go deeper, longer, and more into the branding side of things,
Okay.
so that they know of me as the expert. But I am tweaking the website a little bit. I do know that with the AI, they're really looking at FAQ, and as is
Yep.
search as well. And so I'll take some of my pages and some of the content I've already created, and I will take those transcripts and put it through AI and have it spit out, what are some good FAQs for this, and then
Yep.
just put that at the bottom of the page.
So you're
as kind
talking
of
about
supplemental.
FAQ, frequently asked questions about a community.
You could use it
or
for anything.
about whatever topic.
I think it'd be
Like-
really hard to win on real estate in general, like buying and selling a home.
Right.
Just
It'd
there's
have
so
to
much
be
content
more-
out there. But if we get hyper local and we're talking about specific communities or areas or programs, whatever your niche is, like that's where you're going to be able to shine.
Okay. Do you favor one chatbot platform over another? Do you prefer, OpenAI's ChatGPT versus
Yeah, so I was,
Google Gemini? Like
Really
what's your-
early on with ChatGPT, and I pay for the membership there. So
Okay.
that's kind of my go-to. I kind of have a tab open at any given time, and I'll just run things through there. And sometimes it's just something to bounce an idea off. It's kind of like a mirror. So pose a question and then see, and then maybe circle back to it later.
Do you ever use, do you use different chatbots for different purposes? I know some of the guys in our IT department, for example, will say, well, we go to Claude for this, or we go to Perplexity for that, or, ChatGPT is accused of being too agreeable. Have you heard that?
Yeah,
It tells you what you want to hear.
Yeah, there's a funny video where they have two of them talking to each other, and it's
Yeah.
like, let's start a friendly conversation. It's all right, yeah, let's dive in. It just constantly goes
Yeah.
back and forth. And it definitely does gaslight you quite a bit. But no, I use ChatGPT primarily, and
Okay.
then for other tools that I use, I like Opus a lot.
Okay.
So we're filming this podcast now, and then later on we could find some sound bites.
Mm-hmm.
Opus would automatically tag that, and it would cut the scene so it would have both you and I and format it for the different social platforms. And
Cool.
so I already have this library of tours that I'm doing. My focus is on Facebook and YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want to neglect Instagram and TikTok and stuff. Truthfully, I
Sure.
never go on those platforms. They're just too much of a time suck.
Okay.
But I can use Opus, and it'll repurpose these things and relaunch it in these
On those
other
plat-
areas. And so I'm
okay.
kind of getting exposure over there.
Okay.
Obviously, the best case would be I would make content specifically for those platforms, but I don't have enough time for that. So this allows me to be omnipresent and reach a larger audience.
What, for someone that hasn't, like someone that's not very techy, someone that's listening to this episode and is just already overwhelmed, like what's some advice? Like what are the basics that you think realtors should be doing at the very, very basic level right now to get, what would you consider table stakes?
Yeah, so like ChatGPT is really good for cleaning up texts or emails. If you want, you could have a browser open. Just make sure that it's always in your voice. Otherwise, the younger generation, when we see AI, like we're already angered. And truthfully,
Yeah.
when I see AI slop, i.e. fake videos, it just
Yeah.
like I move away from it so quickly because I know the art that goes into creating authentic content.
Yes.
And I'm already annoyed by fake deep fakes and fake
Yeah.
images and headlines because a lot of people don't read. And so in a world that's like moving towards AI and a lack of trust, I think there's a lot to be gained in being more human. That's what sets us apart, and that's where we build trust.
I love that. Did you attend Mike Vanderheiden's class that he was doing his little tour of doing business at the speed of AI?
Of course I did.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I'm very deep in.
Yeah.
But it was interesting that it was a very full class, and I sat right up front, and afterwards some of the other agents had asked me, like, hey, you're doing this daily. What are your thoughts about AI?
Mm-hmm.
And it was an older gentleman that asked me who's probably nearing retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I think I have more to learn from you than you have from me. In this world that we live in, I just want to become more human and be more authentic. And so I'm actually here trying to do the opposite. So.
Oh, that's interesting. I love that take. So I want to switch gears just a little bit. You shared something recently on our private mastermind group about Sisu. Thank you for doing that. And my last podcast interview with Scott Swenis, actually. Yes, you guys are like the Sisu, like you have this little competition going.
Yeah, we need to get more people.
I know. What would you? I try to talk about it a little bit when I do roundtables and when I'm talking to sales executives, and I always have to say, first of all, it's not a CRM because a lot of times they think it is. It integrates with all the CRMs. What would you? I've explained it over and over, like what it is and what it does, but from what does Sisu mean for you? What does it do for you, and why should other realtors be using it?
Yeah, so it goes back to like basic business planning. And so we do classes around the different offices here, and I use the contact method. And so I can look backwards at where my business came from the previous year and determine, what were the steps? How many listings did I take? How many buyers did I represent? When we go further back from that, how many appointments did I have and how many conversations? And so I can't really control whether you buy or sell, but what I can control is how many conversations I have every day. And so Sisu is a great tool because we can track that. And so at the beginning of the year, I can say, okay, I want to make 250,000. I know I need to make 40 conversations,
Yeah.
or what have you. And so I'll figure out how many conversations I need to have for the year and then break that down into a daily goal. And so we can just track that right through the app.
So people listening, it tracks all the data, it does all the reporting, but you're not actually having to like manually enter everything into Sisu. I'm assuming you have it set up so it's integrating with one of your CRMs.
That would be really smart.
Okay, so what do
the
you...
nice thing is
Okay.
that the front desk enters all our listings and sales. And
They
so
do, yes.
You can check.
A lot of the data is put in there for you.
Yeah. You can check on your real-time stats. You can see
Yes.
how you compare,
Yes.
stack up. Remix.
But they're not logging your calls or your appointments.
They are not. They are
Okay.
not. And
so you're doing that on your own.
Yes.
Okay, you
And
are.
so there is an app you can use on your phone. Otherwise, you can use the desktop version. And then, it would be great if I went in every day to do this, but let's be honest, I'm not going to remember. So what I'll do is like every week or so, I'll go back in and just look through my phone, look through my email. How many people did I talk to?
Yep.
And then it's just a matter of clicking. And so you can look at your calendar as well to get your appointments added in. I need to go back and add my appointments in because they're missing currently. But it shows year-to-date sales and how I'm doing towards my goals. If you're working in a team, there's a lot of opportunity there for creating competition or challenges and stuff. And so we actually rolled Sisu out to our team back in 2017.
Okay.
We were probably one of the very first to have it.
I remember
We had a
that.
dashboard where it
The
displayed
leaderboards.
leaderboard in real time.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a fun, friendly competition we had. And so
Yeah.
I was really excited when Remax rolled it out to the company and
Yeah.
preloaded the information in,
Yes,
which
we
is
did.
a huge thing.
Oh, you ask our front desk staff, blood, sweat, and tears over that. Yeah, 3 years worth of data.
And I thank them for that.
Yeah.
So the technology that we have here at Remax Results is well above and beyond what's offered by the franchise itself. I mean, I truthfully don't use a lot of the tools from LLC, and I prefer what we've added on. So that is just one of many great offerings.
Well, thank you. So you've written how many books?
3 books.
3. Are you doing any more?
Still no. I probably should go back and maybe do some updates now that AI is so much more prevalent. But
It's changing so fast, though.
so I like to say that I wrote those books before AI.
Yeah.
So like if you look at,
They're still very relevant, though. I mean,
Yeah.
business planning.
but the amount of books that people have put out since is just
Yeah.
off the charts. Like every Tom, Dick, and Harry has a book now, and so we at least had to hire a ghostwriter.
Okay.
We definitely wrote most of the book and then had a ghostwriter put the first one together. My second one was all me, and then the third one was a hybrid. So,
Okay.
but now with AI, like you just crank that out.
I have an idea. Maybe your next book is about, the humanist in all of us, or bringing back that human element in this world of. I'm going to hold you to that there, Brandon.
I'll just get another 10 hours a day somehow, add into all the other fun things I'm working on. So
Yeah. What are some other fun things you're working on? Yeah.
So we talked about the new construction thing. Obviously, that's taking up a considerable amount of time. I think I had 85 hours into just driving around, hundreds of hours into actual research. And so it does pay dividends. Like we can
Sure.
buy leads, or we can create a funnel that creates leads for us, opportunities that's evergreen. And so I've chosen to go that route. But so that's one big passion of mine. Obviously, smart home technology we talked about quite a bit in the previous episode. And then this would have been April, I think it was. We got our 2 puppies. And so
Oh, yes.
they're a delight and a handful.
What are their names? Tell me again. Talk about.
Daisy and Poppy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've been keeping you busy.
So between
Not quite
that,
a year old.
and then I
Yeah.
travel, I
Yep.
play paintball.
Yep.
I
awesome.
just like to create content in general, whether it's for real estate or on the tech side. I'm just like a big time YouTuber guy, and do some Amazon influencer stuff. I do some coaching, some consulting, some training stuff.
Yeah. So, are you using any of the digital ad tools that are out there that Results provides?
I think those ad tools are really great for an agent that doesn't have the design eye and that doesn't want to manage the ads behind the scenes. I actually worked for Lone Wolf for a little bit there before getting laid off. So I kind of know a bit behind the scenes of how those systems operate, and they do a great job of automating that process. I will say that about 40% of your ad spend is actually going to the ads, and the rest is profit for them and to run the systems, which, again, if you're not a tech savvy person, that's probably acceptable.
Is that typical? Because there's I think we have 4 different digital ad platforms.
They're all going to be in that ballpark.
Okay.
So they need to make money, which, again, perfectly fine. So if you're doing it at a really large scale, if you're a team leader, you're trying to become a rainmaker and generate leads for a bunch of people, it might make sense to try to figure this out yourself or hire a different company to manage that for you. Certainly if you're a DIYer, you can by all means do that. For me personally, honestly, I've really moved away from paid advertisement in preference of just creating evergreen content, both on YouTube, social media, repurposing a lot of content that way. I just find that the organic leads convert at a higher rate. I was finding that you spend a lot of money. At our peak, I think we were at $10,000 with Zillow, and we were getting a return, but that's a big burden to have over your head. If I have a month that's slow, I still need to give them that money. They're kind of like the mob, and so I didn't like that relationship. So really focusing on how can I build the business for myself in a sustainable way, and then also I really am more interested in the net number. So I could go out and buy a bunch of leads and make more money, but then I'm also spending a lot of money. And so at the end of the day, I think I'm happier when I'm working with people that I enjoy working with, that found me because they want to be with me, not versus I had to chase them around town. And so I really want to focus on my quality of life and my dollar per hour. So I'd rather work less and make around the same or try to make a little bit more. I don't ever want to be number one.
Oh, that's good. I've seen, I follow you, and I'm always envious of some of the stuff, the fun things like the Consumer Electronics Show. Do you still do that every year?
Oh, yeah.
You're obsessed with that. I love that.
So I actually created a group of influencers in the smart home space, and I managed to start an annual meetup now.
Really?
And it gained so much speed that now I have more sponsors than I have to turn away the money. So we're having an incredible party this January, and it'll be influencers from around the world this time.
Cool.
They're flying in to hang out. So really looking forward to that.
So in the smart home space, which we did really dive deep into, and last time you were on the Results Driven podcast, let's touch on that again, though. What's the latest? What are the smart home topics of all the different, what are people doing now? What are the new, what are builders doing?
We're recording this in the year of the robot mower, and so this year I tested about 12.
That's considered part of a smart home, the robot,
for sure. It's connected,
lawnmower?
it's automated.
Okay.
I haven't mowed my yard myself for 2 years, other than some touch-ups, but that's kind of neat. So now we're filming in the fall, and so I don't have a lot.
Do they have a robot leaf?
Oh yeah. So the one that I have is
I
not only a mower, but it also can do edging, which has been kind of a setback of some of them. That it has an attachment that is for leaf blowing. And so I have a friend that has a much larger yard that's testing that for me right now. And the best part is it has a snowblower attachment. So I received it at the end of the winter last year, and I got to use it for 2 weeks. It was incredible.
You're
and
kidding.
So I'm looking forward to a full winter of hopefully not having to plow it all.
Smart snowblower.
Yeah, well, it's an all-in-one unit. It's a modular unit.
Look
so
out
you
your
can change
window
it.
and watch it
as
it shovels your sidewalk.
It's incredible. I see my neighbors out there
see
just
that going wrong,
struggling.
Very wrong.
Yeah. So remote control and then automated.
Okay.
It's got a lot of sensors on it for safety, of course.
Cool.
But yeah, I see my neighbors out there struggling, and I'm just like, I just send the robot over there and get that done.
What are any like smart home, but in the house, in the home?
Oh,
What are,
everything. I'm always
Give me-
testing new
yeah.
robot vacuums. There's
Okay.
one of the newest ones has an arm on it,
Mm-hmm.
so you can pick up socks and things. So that's exciting.
What's the robot I've been seeing targeting me on social media? The EOS or what?
Oh, the Neo.
Neo,
Yeah, that
that's it.
creepy little guy.
Oh,
So-
are these like? Is that going to be considered part of a smart home?
I
having
suppose
a
it
Neo?
would be. I mean, we're getting that much closer. It's exciting to think about where the future could go
Yeah.
with this, but we have to think about the reality of where we are. And so they're kind of selling a product that doesn't exist. And
Yeah.
like even in their advertising, they're tele-operating it. And so there's someone wearing a headset with like little hands and
Yeah.
just stumbling around the house. And so like where we are now, maybe not the greatest, but where we're
Okay.
going, pretty exciting stuff.
What's something that you haven't seen invented yet that you think should be? Anything?
That's a great
I
question.
loaded you with a question. I stumped Brandon.
I think on the real estate technology side, the biggest problem that we need to solve is duplication of entry. I shouldn't have to put
yes.
something into my CRM, into
Yep.
my transaction management platform, into this, into that. It should just know.
Yeah.
That's the biggest time suck of all of real estate.
Yeah,
And so whoever solves that is going to make a lot of money.
yeah. I would assume generative AI is.
I think we're getting closer. We
answer
have
to
to
that.
overcome some database issues and
Yeah.
some privacy issues. There's a lot of concerns there,
Yeah.
especially with Zillow,
Yeah.
with acquisition of other companies. So I don't know if you follow industry relations, but they had a good rift on that recently. And so there are some red flags.
Well, thanks. This has been fun. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you want to talk about, or any kind of?
Well, for my fellow Remax Results agents, reach out anytime. I'm obviously excited to share about technology. There's a lot of great classes that we all have access to. It's a little bit difficult to find sometimes, but go through resultsconnect.com
Yeah.
and then click through to Brainier. Or, if you see the ads that your front desk is sending out, you could just show up. You don't have to have signed up. There's always a sign-in sheet. There's
Yeah.
always welcome to join. There's so many great people in this company that are just sharing everything. We're all open books, and so just take advantage of that. Reach out, have a conversation.
Yeah.
If you want to meet with me and have lunch, I have a URL, lunchwithbrandon.com.
Lunchwithbrandon.com.
You can go.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much, Brandon.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.